Today's episode is brought to you by shopnackiasalmon.com, our new online store where we share our powerful words through our products that connects, educate, inspire, and empower us. Check out our t-shirts, hats, hoodies, leggings, and much more at shopnackiasalmon.com. We ship globally. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Catchup. Now, Catchup is a project that we co-create a safe space to share our very powerful stories. And the hope is that by sharing our stories, we reminisce on wonderful memories. We educate each other by sharing our experiences and lessons learned. And most importantly, we inspire, we motivate, and empower each other to live our best life. So today, my guest is Dana Baugh. And Dana hasn't seen me in a long time. In a very, very long time. I know her brother because we were in the same year group while Dana was behind us. So Dana, thank you for saying yes to catch up.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here and excited to catch up, actually.
And thank you, Shelley Drummond, for connecting us. I appreciate it. Every guest is valuable. Thanks, Shelley. All right. So what graduating class were you a part of, Dana?
I think I was in 98.
All right. So you were 2 years behind us.
Yeah.
And did you have colors at that time? Like what color was it?
I don't remember.
Yellow. You don't even remember. Mine was green, girl.
I think I was blue.
Yes, you were blue?
I think I remember first form, I was in brown, but I don't remember anything after that.
What's your current location?
Currently, I'm still in South Lamar. I was living away for a while, but then I moved back to South Lamar in 2016, and I've been here working from home.
All right. So you're going to give everyone high level. I normally say the objective is 30 seconds. Nobody really does 30 seconds or less, using milestones from graduating in 1998 till today. High level. What have you been up to?
Okay, so I went to sixth form for 2 years. Then I went to UA Mona, got my first degree in psychology. Then I came back to South, started working with Sandals White House as a management trainee. Then I went away to design school in New York for a year and a half, did a summer in Paris as a part of the design school program, rejoined Sandals as an interior designer in the projects department, switched careers to their retail management division where I became the group manager for marketing, started my business while I was at the head office in corporate, did that on nights and weekends, and in 2016 left Sandals to start to do my business full-time where I've been since 2016, and we've just been focused on growing Bauhaus Design Studio since then.
So you're going to show us and share more about the products and what you create, right? Because you just said that Baugh. You know what? Help us Jamaicans. How do you pronounce your company's name?
Okay, so my company's name is a blending of my last name and the German word for house. And it's inspired by the German design school called the Bauhaus, which started around just before Stalin and Hitler came in and did their thing.
Yes.
So the school closed down after it became a communist country and whatever, but the lecturers who taught a blending of functionality as well as looks, marriage of form and function is what they call it.
Yeah.
That was the philosophy of the school. And then those lecturers, when after the whole Nazi Germany thing, they went all over the world and they taught that philosophy and what is largely known as modern design. And when I was at design school, I learned about it. And because the spelling of the Bauhaus is very similar to how I spell my name, I decided to call my company Bauhaus. So it's pretty much pronounced Bauhaus.
All right.
And very simple. Once you get it, it's easy.
All right. Share your products with us in terms of your creations. Can you share it with us so we know what you're capable of doing? You're so talented. Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I think my journey with creativity started when I was very young. And so it just evolved to where it is now, where I wanted to be in the business of design. So Bauhaus Design Studio, we design and make authentic handmade Jamaican products infused with Jamaican roots and culture. The main line is focused on porcelain items right now. We also do handmade lighting fixtures, and the goal is to expand into everything home or any type of material that we want to. So we'll do glassware, we'll do metalware, flatware, we'll do soft goods and other kinds of home furnishings further down the road. But we started with a manufacturing studio that does ceramics right now. I'm just gonna show you a few of the products that we do. We have quite a bit more, but I just wanted to give you a synopsis of what we have. So
All right.
this piece right here, this is our Lion of Judah cup. It's made from porcelain, and we have different colored layers. I'm gonna try and bring it up so you can see the details.
Yes.
Now, I believe strongly in pushing Jamaican culture and refining it and presenting that in a tangible way, in an authentic way that is presented by Jamaicans, not only for Jamaicans, but for everybody in the world to consume. I am very much against, not very much against, but I kind of feel like as Jamaicans, we don't take our own culture and package it and sell it to the world. And my business intends on changing that, because I feel like as Jamaicans, we should own our culture. I call it cultural gold. And I think we can do a lot more with what we have instead of just, you know, an outsider telling us what's good about our culture. We should know, and we should do something with it. So this is my exploration and my representation of my culture from my perspective. So the Lion of Judah, I've always had a fascination with Rastafari culture and the religion and the teachings of Rastafari. And I thought that, you know, we can look at Rastafari just in the way that Buddhism looks at Buddha. So I have a collection that's just about Jamaica and their people. And one of the pieces is called the Wise Rasta. And that was the first piece in the collection. And then I did the Lion of Judah, which would be like his spirit animal in terms of, you know, what they represent in terms of the teachings of positivity and bravery and courage and kingship that we need to teach about our African ancestry. So I wanted to celebrate that, and I wanted to put that into a product that not only we can appreciate, but everyone can appreciate. So that was Lion of Judah. And then I'm just going to take you through very quickly some of the pieces here, because I know we have lots of things to talk about. This is our largest piece to date. It's our banana leaf platter. It's made from porcelain. And we created this custom color specifically for our breadfruit and banana leaf tableware pieces. It's 18 inches in length, and it's a really good size to serve on, or it could be used decoratively. The other piece that we have, I mentioned the breadfruit collection. Now, when we do our tableware collection, that includes platters, plates, bowls, napkin rings, salad plates, all different kinds of stuff. So we did a bowl. This is a great size bowl. It's actually the perfect size for microwave popcorn. And it's our breadfruit bowl. It has all the texture, and we designed the glaze to flow into all the little crevices that I created to highlight the texture in the bowl. So this is our breadfruit bowl, and we just created a medium and small size. So you could buy a set of 3 to create a nesting bowl set, or you could purchase them individually if you wanted to just buy like soup bowls and you wanted the small size. So we did it that way. And all the designs are original. Those all come out of my head from somewhere, or inspired by me going somewhere or seeing something, or just having a conversation with somebody, or just hanging out with like family and friends. And I'm like, oh, it would be cool if I did this and if I did it in that way. So a lot of the ideas come from just everyday life. We have one of our pieces. This is our planter. It's our Caribbean Princess planter. And if you're into gardening, this is great for like a tabletop succulent garden. Or if you like fresh mint in the morning or herbs, you can plant that and place that on like your breakfast table, or if you're in an office, it'll be great for succulents. Let me just show you this is our most popular plate. We did this one 2-3 years ago, and it's our #1 selling plate. It's our philodendron plate. It's a great size. Has all these beautiful details on the back that looks like the leaf, and then it's very functional as well. And the colors that I use are, people like them because they represent the Caribbean, but they're also not too bright, so they can fit in. They really, like, if you're gonna do a salad or you're gonna cook, it really has a nice backdrop for food. So we do stuff in white and we do stuff in color as well. And then we have these little sea biscuit bowls. So stuff not only inspired by our culture, but also the beauty of the island, just the natural beauty of the island. And all the pieces we do in a variety of colors, which if you go on the website, you can see. I'm sorry to be turning my back, but
you're fine. You're fine. You have time to show us more. Go ahead.
And here we have our Christmas ornaments. I released these last year. I'm going to show them to you individually. The latest one in the collection is the Sweet Sop. It's really true to form because I actually made the mold from an actual sweet sop. I told my staff last year, I was like, I need to make some ornaments from, you know, favorite Jamaican fruits. And so they all picked stuff and brought stuff, and I made the molds from each piece. It was quite challenging, so it helped me to improve my mold making skills, but I think everything came out really beautifully. We do have a little breadfruit. This was a baby breadfruit.
Yeah.
And so each piece it comes with a ribbon, and I try to put a little tag for the year. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So
yes, we can.
Based on whichever year you buy it, then you can get the year tag on it to commemorate whatever year. And then
Can you personalize it in any other way, like a child's name or anything, or not at the moment?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I'll be doing a kiddies line next year where you can do stuff for children, and you can buy letters and personalize in ways like that, because I think that we I don't really have anything that's catered to children, but I think the collection that I have would be great for like a children's room and little personalizations that I think children would love.
Okay.
Because a lot of the pieces are like heirloom pieces. Like if you get it, you can pass it on to your children can pass it on to their children.
Yes.
And so the idea is to create modern heirlooms that, even though they are Jamaican in nature, they still can be appreciated by anyone, anywhere in the world. So that's very important to me. The other ornament in the collection is our cocoa, as some people say.
Beautiful. That's one of my favorites.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
This is 18 karat gold that's on it. We have a special, it's like a paint, that's liquid gold. We put it on it, we fire it, and then the gold is left once you fire it.
Love the texture.
It's a very beautiful piece. And then everything is true to form. And the last piece for the ornaments would be our Aki, which is a crowd favorite. This one we make every single piece and then we assemble it. And then you have the little Aki seeds, and then the Aki is actually gold.
Gold. Girl.
So we do all these things. But I do have a tree topper that is in development. It's going to be a pineapple that you can put on the top of your tree. I think that would be really cute for Christmas instead of an angel or a star. It's
something more authentically Caribbean. Yeah. Oh, honey.
That's just a little synopsis of some of the products that we have from our newest collections and some of the older stuff. But that's pretty much it.
So guys, you probably are wondering, because this is very unusual for me to take that time for her to show you her creations. I think it is very, very powerful. I don't believe there are any words that she could have found to describe what she does and her work that could give what you just experienced any justice at all. So you need to see it. You need to have context. What she does is a part of her. To catch up with Dana, I think you have to have this piece. And it is worth the time that we just invested to seeing her work. So Dana, where can we find you if we want to place an order?
Well, if you want to place an order, the easiest way, because I know past students are everywhere in the world, everywhere. So you can find the pieces on our website at www.bauhausdesign.com, and I'm in a few stores locally. Fontana in Kingston. I'm in My Jamaica in Kingston. I'm in all the couples resorts and Trial and Roundhill gift shops. If you're here locally and you're vacationing, then you can find me in those gift shops. And then if you're in Sablon, if you're visiting home, you can always stop by the studio. Just give me a call or message me beforehand to make sure I'm in studio and we have stock. But
Where's the
you
studio?
can visit the studio is in Emerville Avenue, which is off Paradise Road. So when you pass the DNG, which is now the Red Stripe Distribution Center, we're literally like the first left-hand turn
All
after
right.
Red Stripe. So still in the close to South, like 5 minutes out of South.
And you ship globally.
Ship globally, yes. We use FedEx and Jamaica Post. We typically prefer to use FedEx because they're more reliable. And soon we'll be able to ship directly from the US once we have some warehousing
In place.
out of Miami. Yeah.
Ah, girl, I have to ask that too because they're asking. I can feel them asking. So how can we find and how can we place an order?
Yeah.
Especially if it's an
Yeah.
alumni that was not in your, in the span in your time. All right.
Exactly.
So what do you do for fun? What do you do to relax, Dana?
Oh gosh.
Do you relax?
Work.
Do you relax?
No. I do need to take some time to relax. It's very important to take a break. And right now I am feeling the burnout coming on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I may just take a quick run to the beach and that's pretty much it. Or I may just stay in and just sleep and watch Netflix and sleep. Because my brain is just constantly working. For the entrepreneurs out there, you know that once you have a business, you're constantly going and you're wearing 100 hats. So it's very difficult to unplug and to even take some time, especially if your business is at a certain stage where it's starting or growing, it's an emerging or growing business, you really don't have time. And I'm in that stage between where I'm growing.
Right.
And I really don't have a lot of time to do anything other than work and, push the business as much as I can. And the flip side of that is, or the good thing about that is that I enjoy what I do. So it doesn't feel like work. So when they have that saying that if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life, I really do feel like I'm not working. And I have to be very careful with that because sometimes, it's not like there's a cutoff point where I have time for myself or I separate.
Yeah.
And
you log out and go home.
Yeah, there's no logging out and going home. There's none of that goes on because I am my business and my business is me right now. And even when I get to the point of having people run the business for me, I will still be the face of the company. I will probably still be leading creatively to put pieces out there. And so it's not like I can log off, but hopefully by then I would have learned how to balance things a little bit better and learn how to, take some time away. Because even if you can't take like vacation, it's important, I feel, to take do little self-care things, get a massage, do a facial, whatever it is, because sometimes you just your brain needs to dump and your body needs like a deposit to build back. And I feel like that's important. So I don't do a lot of relaxing right now, but I try as much as I can to get as much sleep as I can because that's important. Sleep is very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
And I want to just call out the fact that she changed her words to say when. Words are powerful. So I just want to note that. I don't want to miss the section. I just want to ask for your immediate family, any kids? Any kids yet?
No kids. I do have a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and he's my son. His name is Whiskey. That's the only child that I have.
It's a major responsibility, just so you know.
Yeah. Yes, he's my child. Yeah.
We're going to briefly go down memory lane in terms of high school. It's a core part of Catchup. Can you recall who was your favorite teacher at Manning's? Did you have any favorites? We only get.
I did.
Tell me.
I had a few. I would consider myself a teacher's pet. I was always kind of nerdy and stuff, so I think I was a little teacher's pet
Yeah.
because I'd always do my homework and stuff. But my favorite teachers, I would think, I love Mrs. Monroe. I think she was pretty much everybody's favorite because she just had that warm, welcoming personality. My social studies teacher, I think her name was Miss Godfrey. Miss Godfrey? She was always very nice and she made the subject very interesting. And one of
Hmm.
the reasons why I did psychology and sociology at UWI, just in the way she presented the information.
Hmm.
And there was one other teacher that I really liked. My geography teacher was also really good. I forget her name, but I just know I know she's just right, like I can see her right now. But those were my favorite
Favorite
teachers,
teachers.
I would say. And
What
Miss
about?
Pet. Is Miss Pet that used to teach music? Yeah,
Yes.
Miss Pet. Yes. I love Miss Pet. She was always really nice. Oh, and I loved Miss Mailer as well. She was my English teacher, I think, for a year or something. Yeah, she was there for a short while. She was nice as well.
What about any favorite subject?
Favorite subject. I was always creatively inclined and I
Yeah.
liked art,
Yeah.
but I didn't like art at Manning's because it was just mainly about drawing. And that's not
Ah,
to say anything about Manning's, it's just
the
the
curriculum.
way art is taught in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I think we're
Limited.
lacking, yeah, we're lacking a lot in teach. I mean, we're the home of reggae and music is not taught
In
straight
the
throughout high
curriculum.
school.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
In the
crazy.
core curriculum.
If you have you don't I mean not everybody's musically inclined, but at least in every parish there should be one or two schools that focuses on music and dance and artistry and creativity, because not everybody can be a doctor or a lawyer, not everybody
Yeah.
can be a teacher, not everybody's going to want to work in a hotel. There are options, and people who are creatively inclined, I think that's why we have so much bad customer service in Jamaica, because people are just unhappy in what they're doing. And I feel like if we just allowed people to
Do what
be
they
who
love.
they are, exactly, we would be in a much better place as a nation. But I liked art, but I think social studies, geography, I liked biology.
Hmm.
I think those are my and I love literature as well.
You
Yeah,
just
those are
broke
my
all
favorite.
the rules. Normally, I give people like one favorite this, max two
Sorry.
favorite that. So just so they're gonna be like, "Who comes Dana? Name off so much things." She get on with it. She did got through. I couldn't bring her back. What about memories?
Yes.
Any
Okay.
memories? When you think of Mannings, what come to mind? What is like synonymous with Mannings for you?
Oh gosh.
What
I don't
can you
know.
remember?
I
Hmm.
would say my friends. What I remember the most about Manning's, I remember my friends first and foremost, my core group of friends who
Hmm.
most of us keep in touch to this day. Um, I, when we can find the time, that is, I should say, let me put that in there, when we can find
Yeah,
time,
time doesn't matter. You
So I would
connect
say
when you can. No, I said time
exactly. I
doesn't
think real
matter. With
friends
my
really,
people, don't matter.
yeah, yeah. What I think I mean, once you're adulting and people who are real friends don't really care that you're talking to them every day. And luckily, my friends aren't high maintenance, so I'm happy with that. But the memories would be my friends hanging out in the library, that library building. I loved it. I like old buildings, so I really loved the
Aw.
library building. And things that stick out are the iconic things about the school, the uniform, it's not the school song,
Yes.
um, stuff like that. I would think, because everybody has their curriculum, and definitely I would say hanging out under the tree right by behind the library, where
Yes.
everybody would gather and hang out. And Miss Eula, I love Miss Eula to death. I mean, that was like I would always go to Miss
Yeah.
Eula for first break, and I think she was one of my earliest memories of just feeling like, because when I got to Manning's, I didn't have a lot of friends. A lot of nice friends from I went to Paradise Prep
Hmm.
weren't there, and so Miss Eula was always very nice to me, and that was one of my first like fond memories as a first form of going into Manning. So those
I
are some of
never
the things that
I never thought about your experience not coming from Unity or Soft Primary, like a large
Yeah.
primary school, and you how
Hmm.
you got yourself acclimated into Mannings. That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. It was a culture shock. I got teased a lot. I got teased a lot because I couldn't speak patois,
Yes.
and
Aw.
I got I went through and I got teased. Yeah, but
Because it wasn't
you
allowed in Paradise Prep, was it? You had to speak English.
you speak. I mean, you could speak patois, but for the most part, everybody there, spoke English. I
Yeah.
mean, so if I were to speak patois, it's because of my helper or somebody in the neighborhood or community that
Yeah.
I would, or some like go to my mother's store or something like that.
Fascinating.
But it's not something that we did that I knew how to do until I went to Manning's. But I think it's great when you have those different types of experiences, that
Yeah.
you learn how to interact with different types of people. And I think being teased and stuff is a part of growing up. You develop thick skin, you develop a
Yeah.
broad back, you learn who you are. So I don't think anything is wrong with my experience. I think it's great. I
Understood.
think every child needs to be able to fend for themselves and learn how to develop and grow. And if you have everything smooth sailing through life, then how do you develop character and how do you become the person you're supposed to become? So I don't think anything negative of it.
Understood. Somebody said to
Yeah,
me, if the mountain was smooth, you couldn't climb it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What words would you use to describe your personality back in Manning School? And what words did you use to describe Dana today, CEO of her own company? How would you
Oh, wow.
tell me back in the day
All
what
right.
words? Just words, random words. How would you describe you?
Back in the day, I was a bookworm. I was very shy and reserved, but still full of life. Like if once I was comfortable,
Yeah.
love to give jokes and that type of stuff. I always loved music and always loved, entertaining and having people around me, but still very quiet and reserved. I would say back in the day, very unsure of myself, not being confident at such a young age.
Yeah.
Um, so those are things that I would say, I've always loved my family, so always big on family.
Mhm.
But no, I think I've evolved to somebody who is definitely more confident, somebody who is purposeful, somebody who I would say knows who they are. Um, and I think that I'm still shy, but I'm definitely more outgoing than I used to be because I've gone through the embarrassing stages of, okay, well, you did it, it embarrassed you, you didn't die.
It didn't.
So, so I'm fine now. So I think that alone has made me a lot more comfortable in who I am.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm the same person who I was back then. I like to laugh and give joke and have fun and hang out with my friends and my family. And I would say I'm an introverted extrovert is the best word, best thing to describe me. But yeah,
And that is a
I'd
real
say
thing. That is a real thing.
yeah.
That is a real thing.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a lot of things in terms of growth and growing through challenges and learning, right? Was there something that
Hmm.
you used to believe about yourself or capabilities or who you are that has shifted tremendously in terms of your core belief about yourself? Can you see any distinct? You want me to give you an example? I
Yeah,
used to think
sure. Give
that
me an example.
certain success and certain achievement was not for me. It was for others
Mm,
that was of a certain
mm,
looked a certain way, a part of certain
mm-hmm,
families, etc.
mm-hmm,
I used to think that, so I didn't
mm-hmm,
even
mm-hmm.
try.
Really?
Coming to the US
Wow.
has totally like shattered that,
Yep.
shattered, shattered it.
That's a very limiting
Yeah,
belief.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
is there
Mm-hmm.
anything, whatever it is that shifted in your belief systems that you can recall that you, for example, now my whole thing is now around shifting how I look at money. Because the way how we're
Yes.
cultured in Jamaica, we don't develop a healthy relationship with money. All
Mm-mm.
right. It's
No.
just not in the culture to teach us. And if you see somebody doing something money, like I wonder where my do you go up your man like it,
Yeah.
it's nothing, it's we don't celebrate that. The culture doesn't
Yeah.
celebrate that we should.
We
Am I
don't
making sense?
celebrate, yeah, man, we don't celebrate hard work. We don't
Yep,
celebrate when people win, when people have success.
yep.
Yeah,
So I'm
and
just
it's
telling
not
you.
just Jamaica too. I think the whole slavery thing has eroded how
Oh, girl.
people of African ancestry, how they believe in what they believe in money. So I feel it's something. And
Yes,
not only
yes,
African access,
yes.
people just up below a certain poverty line, and that is linked back to
Poverty to
our
slavery.
history.
Yep.
Yeah, to
Yes,
slavery.
I'm
Yeah,
doing.
it's
Yes.
just.
So I'm just giving
Mhm.
you an example of beliefs that I had to change to live the life I'm living now. And I will have to continue to investigate what am I believing in order to live the life
Yeah.
I imagine in my head. That is a journey for me that's
Yes.
never ending. So I just wanted you to share
But
one
it's
quick.
good. It's good because once you change that, you pass that on to your children and you start changing their and they will also change for their children, and it becomes a positive because once you do the work, then it becomes easier for them. So I think it's good to work on yourself, and I just had a just before we started, I was like talking to somebody about mindset change, like
Yes.
um instead of blaming the thing that's causing you that you think is causing your problem, look at what you are doing wrong instead of, this thing isn't working because the thing is wrong or it's not
Yes.
level or whatever, so a
Yes.
lot of it is mindset change. One of the things that my mindset, the most distinctive thing, I've had a lot of changes in how I view certain things, and a lot of it has to do with fear. I was always very afraid to do things, afraid to speak up, afraid to say how I feel, afraid to um, do certain things because whether it was fear of failure, fear of looking weird, or being embarrassed as to how I looked or how I felt. Um, and I would say that has changed now to a certain extent. Some of it is a little bit more deep seated that I don't even identify as being fair. Some things are just like covered up, and I don't
Yep.
realize I'm not doing something because that belief is probably still there. Um,
Yes.
but on the surface, I have learned how to do things whether or not I'm afraid. And the how I overcame that was I recognized that I was always afraid to I was afraid to apply for design school. I was afraid to ask for a job, a raise in pay or whatever it was. And I realized that it felt very like I couldn't move forward in life because I was just afraid to make a decision.
Right.
And so I went to a Joyce Meyer convention in Missouri. I don't remember where it was. And the topic of the discussion was um, fear, how to overcome fear. And the thing that stuck with me was that she said, even though you're afraid, do it anyway. So it's just do it fearfully. So even if you're afraid, you do it because you have faith that things will work out. So that relates back to your belief system, and then also self actualization. And so even if you're not like big in your Christian faith or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's a very practical advice on how to deal with a fearful attitude to accomplishing anything in life. And so I feel like everything that I approach in life, I
Yeah.
may not tackle it because women in general tend to be a lot more, we second guess a lot. And I think that's a
Yes.
fearful thing. A
Yeah.
lot more pressure is put on us to be perfect and to present ourselves in a certain way. I think I've gotten over that. I've accepted who I am. And so in terms of being fearful, I'll go for it after some back and forth, but I'm much better than what I used to be. There are certain things, like I said before, that will kind of trip me up a little bit, but
Yes.
that was the most major transformation, along with self-acceptance and just accepting who I am, how I am physically, mentally, personality-wise. So those are that would be the biggest transformation for me from going from where I was in high school to where I am now, which is a long time.
If you had to speak to Dana in 1998 and you had one thing that you could tell her, one thing, what did she need to hear in 1998? Knowing what you know now, that she probably
I
didn't.
would say,
Go ahead.
yeah, I would say go for your dreams, even if people are telling you no, or telling you that you can't accomplish that, or as a Jamaican, this is not possible for you, or because you're this person, you can't do that. So I would say that to have, I don't want to say faith, but have confidence in my own abilities, and
Yeah.
to um, believe in myself a little bit more instead of second guess. It's hard at that age when you're
But you tell her, yeah.
still, but to instill that confidence, I
Yeah.
think to instill that confidence in a child or a teenager, especially. I don't know about boys. I can't speak to the experience of boys and young men, but for young women, I would say it's very important to instill confidence in them, in their abilities, not just their physical appearance, because yes, that's important too, because that can
Right.
lead to a lot of other challenges. Yeah, so I think it's very important to tell young girls and young boys too that, who they are is enough, and to instill a certain level of confidence so that they can get to where they need to get to go quicker in life. I just feel like having belief in yourself is very, very important at a young age.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. We shift to the most serious question that we have, which is around a challenging season. And I want to make sure that you and the viewers understand the purpose. The purpose and the intent of this question is for people to understand that their challenges are not unique. And if one person can overcome it, so can they can overcome it too. So it has intention. So walk us through one of the most challenging seasons of your life so far, and what did you learn about yourself?
All right, so, well, I still think I'm going through a challenging season. I think we go through that continuously.
Yep.
It's just life is just up and down, up and down. One of the most recent ones that I can recall would be when I was with Sandals. So when I joined Sandals in 2005, I was working at Sandals White House on property and operations, and they gave me a scholarship to go to design school. Came back and I became an interior designer with them. While there was a lot of internal politics going on as to with the directors who they preferred and who whatever. And so I got let go as an interior designer. So I was very hurt by that situation, that I've gone to school, studied interior design, did something that wasn't totally what I wanted to do, because I really loved product design. But I said, well, let me do interior design, because if they're going to give me a scholarship, then interior design would serve the company better. So I did interior design, came back, and a year and a half into it, I felt like a failure because they didn't want me to be an interior designer anymore. And I'm thinking that I'm going to become this great Martha Stewart, Kelly Worsler of Jamaica interior designer, and that just like my dreams were totally dashed. But luckily, in between that, I didn't give up on my dream of doing product design. So while I was there, it was very embarrassing for me, you know. Two, it was very hurtful. It felt like a slap in the face, it felt like rejection pretty much. And instead of, because they gave me the opportunity, they said I could either leave the company or work back at the hotel. And it's like, I'm not going to work back at the hotel. What am I going to do with an interior design degree working as a housekeeping manager or a front desk manager? That doesn't make any sense. So eventually they went around until they put me in the retail department at corporate, which was good for me because I learned about the back end of hospitality retail.
Yes.
So instead of lapping my tail and running away and saying, I don't want to deal with Sandals because they did this to me and whatever, I was like, you know what? There's a lesson in this. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride. It's not really what happened, it's what I thought it was going to be, or I didn't live up to my expectations. But there definitely was a lesson in it. It was hurtful, but I was like, it doesn't matter. If people want to laugh at me or people want to say a good survey right, or you know how people can be.
Yes.
They don't know you, and they judge and they say whatever. And I said, it's not like they're firing me. They're trying to keep me within the company and keep me happy, because really and truly they should not have done what they did. But I said, let me continue. I just started because I had just started, literally just started my business. It was kind of the push that I needed to say, yes, I'm going to start my business on the side while I was working for them. So I didn't jump and say, I'm just going to start my business without any plan, like, where am I going to get money from to run a business? So I did that literally from 2012 to 2016, working with them. I did not shortchange them. I wasn't like, I'm not going to work full time and whatever. I didn't do that. I don't believe in that. I commit to doing a job, so I did my job well.
Right.
But at the same time, was also long hours and long nights. So I think the lesson for me was sometimes you have to step back from a situation and look at what's better for you in the long run, as opposed to making a rash decision. And so I decided to stay and be uncomfortable for a while, because trust me, I was unhappy. I was
Understood.
unhappy. There were things that happened in there that I didn't like about how they ran the company. But not to say that I don't think Sandals is a great company. I think it's a great company to work for, but I was just unhappy in certain areas. But still managing to find happiness in doing what I was doing and being able to give my all. So I feel like sometimes when you're going through it, you just have to be uncomfortable for a while, but still you make your plan for the future to better yourself. You don't just sit in the situation that you're in because you don't think you have the power to change it. You can always do that, but you just have to be okay, to be uncomfortable and be resilient for a while. So I think that would have been one of the most recent things that I still think comes up from time to time, just learning to be even just running my business day to day. But
Yes.
it was just a great lesson in resilience and just being uncomfortable because something better is coming.
This is the reason why I keep asking this question. Sometimes I say, should I continue asking this question? Because that was an amazing experience to share, Dana. As I have learned, we have moved 5 states throughout this career, and there's so many moments when I'm in a particular moment, it's the worst thing ever. It's the end of the world. I can't believe they do this to me. Da, 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 da. And when I look back, it makes so much more sense looking back that everything is connected. And I didn't know in the moment what I was learning and the skills I was developing until I'm in this place. And I'm like, oh my. So I just want our viewers to know no experience you have will be wasted. And when you're in that moment, ask yourself, just like Dana said, what lesson did this moment, what is it providing? What do I need to learn from this situation? Knowing in confidence that it is here for a reason and a purpose, and you will know when you look back. But in order for you to know when you look back, you have to move forward with a plan, as Dana said. And sometimes, let me just say this, you need a divine kick in your butt because you're not listening to that inner thing that said it's time for you to make the next leap. And so it's just like, you just pushes you to just go when those other things are closed. I wanted to say that. Thank you for sharing that. What is the best advice you ever received and why?
Oh gosh.
You're like, which one?
That's a tough one. There there
Go
are a
ahead.
few things that I would call my two mantras that I have.
There you go.
One is more action, less talk, which I just use the letter, malt. I call it malt, hashtag malt, more action, less talk. And then the other one is the inchworm gets where it needs to go 1 inch at a time, which is just a reminder to just take your time, one step at a time. So that's what I always use because I get anxiety over wanting to get to the end before I even start. So I have to keep saying to myself, one step at a time, baby steps. If I don't do that, I get anxiety and then I get this the fearfulness comes in and all kinds of scenarios play out. And you know how women, I'm an overthinker, okay? So I'm not gonna deny it. And I just start think all kind of foolishness. And so those are the two kind of mantras that I use to ground myself. But there are tons of advice out there that I follow every day from all different kind of people.
What are you most proud of?
My growth and development over time. and just being able to accomplish setting out to start this business and to do it with some amount of success, what everybody else thinks is success. There's a lot more for me to accomplish, but
Yeah.
I am proud that I've gotten this far.
Yeah.
Using my own talents and my own resources to get where I am, and just making some good decisions, some bad decisions, but for what it's worth, I think I'm most proud of being able to accomplish this dream and this vision for myself.
So Dana, you shared with us, what people might define as successful. So tell us what your definition is for success.
I think success for me would be to accomplish what I set out to do with the business. That's one. And two, to have a fulfilling family life, to be able to enjoy, not only just have a successful business, but to be able to enjoy and to make experiences with the people that I care about. So those would be that would be my definition of success, being able to build those experiences and to be able to afford those things, but also to create a business that not only is fulfilling for me, but for the people who work here and work along with me, so that they have a sense of pride knowing that they work for my business. So that would be my idea of success.
All right. You only have 2 questions left. It's not too bad, right? So the next question is, what do you want to do that you're not doing now that will give you joy? It's a dream question. What do you dream of doing? You had no limits. You had all the resources you need, and you can do whatever. What would you do that you're not doing now?
I would travel the world, spend time learning different things and interacting with all different kinds of people, eating good food, and doing like passion projects, like being able to um, clean the ocean, or help endangered animals, or build a school, or mentor children, or adopt a child, or a few, something like that. Like if I had all the resources in the world, I didn't need to work, then that's what I would focus my energy on. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Travel, enjoy life, and just build relationships and help other people, and just help make the world a better place in general.
So this question is new to season 5 of Catchup. We're on our 5th season. And I said, no, I think for the last 2 years, we've been asking these. So many people come to me and say, Nackia, I didn't think of that question until you ask it on Catchup. And then I just ask myself, like, what's success to me? You know what I mean? And, all these things. So now I kind of already sprinkled those questions in the conscious of the community. So now I want to say, what did you dream about? What do you dream about? Have you stopped dreaming? Because it is such a powerful thing. Are you just surviving? How can you go back to dreaming? And that's what I'm doing with this question, right? So thank you for sharing that. Last question. At the end of your life, what do you want people to remember about you?
I would like people to think of me as someone who, well, definitely as a creative leader. I aim to, I'm not only doing this because I just want to make pretty things.
Yeah.
The whole reason behind it is also to change the way people perceive Jamaica and what we can produce.
Right.
And I mean, it's a lot harder to do it here than anywhere else in the world, because I think the amount of effort that I put into my business here, if I did it in the US or in Europe or Sweden or somewhere else, I would be much further ahead. But I love my home and I love Jamaica. And so I would love at the end of my life for people to recognize that, and also that I made people feel good, not only through the products, but in the way in which we interacted and how I the impact that I had on them as an individual. So I think that would be what I would love at the end of my life, for people to look back on and say that I made an impact and it was a positive impact.
That's beautiful. Thank you for answering that.
I'm
We're
good.
good.
I'm just happy to be able to catch up and to share, you know, what I've been up to, and to hopefully make some connections with some past students and old friends that I haven't seen or heard from in a long time.
That is the intention and the purpose
Yeah.
of Catch Up. So thank you for participating. And with
Thank you
that,
for having me.
you, you didn't even know how excited I am to have you on the show. I didn't even know that you did what you do until we were prepping for this. I was like, what the what? Yeah, my mind was like. So this is why I'm so excited about Catch Up. There's times when I feel when I'm drained and I'm demotivated by some negativity. And then moments like this make me like, this is why. You don't just remind yourself. I'm sure you're doing it in your creations and you see something and you're like, this is why I started on this journey. And you're so proud, like a proud mama. So when
Exactly.
I think I was more excited after our prep session, because I was like, this is why I started Catchup, because I never dreamed that Brian Baugh's little sister is doing amazing stuff. Sorry, I just remember Brian and Patrick walking side by side. When I think of Brian Baugh, I think of Patrick Hines. And
Think of Patrick Hines.
Yep. That is my memory of your brother. And you are just, the only thing I remember is your smile, and you were quiet.
Aww.
And so I'm like, honey, when we were done with the session, I ran to my husband. I'm like, honey, take a look at this website. And
awesome.
And so this is why I do Catch Up. Sorry, guys. Whenever I start talking about this, you see I get all animated, and I'm no longer like just asking questions. I'm like, So, guys, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Catch Up. I pray that you fully understand Dana's labor of love in Bauhaus. I hope that she physically demonstrated it and you saw it through even her words and how she describes her journey personally and her company. I pray, Dana, for you that as you connect with your customers, your community, that it is indeed a positive, impactful experience. Guys, please share. You're welcome. Guys, please share our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and join us every Monday for another episode of Catch Up. Have an absolutely fantastic week. Bye-bye.
Today's episode was brought to you by shopnackiasalmon.com, our new online store where we share our powerful words through our products that connects, educate, inspire, and empower us. Check out our t-shirts, hats, hoodies, leggings, and much more at shopnackiasalmon.com. We ship globally.